Dude, that's a freaking lion's mane right there.
I appreciate that. You know,
Ladies, watch out.
ah, yeah.
Lions on the prowl.
What's up, everybody? Sooner Nation, we've missed you. If you're watching today, you're witnessing history because we're back before. I wish we could say we're back before Texas, but that might not be true.
That
But
might not be true.
how's it been, man? It's been a long time since we've done one of these. How you feeling?
It's been a long time. I have added a family member to my family since the last time we've done this
Yes,
podcast.
you
So
have. Congratulations, everyone. Give it up for Kate.
thanks, man.
Yeah,
9 months old, man. 9 months old yesterday. Time's
crazy.
flying and crawling all over the place. It's wild.
That's awesome. Well, I'm very happy for you and Kaylee, but I mean, I've already known about this for a while, but which
I
she's
know.
been around for 9 months now, which is crazy.
I
So
know. Someone let me be a dad. It's
I know I
a
don't know
weird
who let you be a
decision.
dad, but geez. So if those of you out there watching probably don't know this, but I've been badgering Tate for the past 2 weeks, trying to get him to hop on with me. So he's probably about tired of me by now. But I did this for you, our 30 viewers. I did it for you. Get some content back out there. So how are we feeling so far, Tate, about the year? We could talk a little bit about Arkansas State and then last week with SMU, talk about that game. So just give me some of your thoughts on that.
I am remaining um, patiently optimistic. I'm not going to. I mean, I've told you that I'm not going to, really know how I feel about this team until that second weekend in October. But it sounds like we might even see a real test next weekend with the Cincinnati team coming up. But I really think that, especially, watching Texas, beat the brakes off of Bama, like it's going to be the measuring stick. So I'll know after that weekend of how I feel. I do have, I mean, clearly I have plenty of thoughts on the past couple weeks. Have some concerns, but if we can get into that for a little bit. But so far, just staying patient on how I feel about Team 129.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And like you said, it sounds like we're going to have a test a little earlier than we think because them boys in Cincinnati look like they're playing some pretty good ball. So, I mean, Arkansas State, it's been a couple weeks now. There's not much we really need to unpack with that one. Just we look pretty good in that against a bad team, which is what we should do. But talking about the SMU game, I have a lot of thoughts on that one. I was at the game, and I thought on the defensive side of the ball, I thought we looked pretty good. I think linebackers as a whole are probably our best group right now. Our secondary is really deep, and they could be in the argument for the best group on that side of the ball. But as of right now, the linebackers have stood out to me, and that's just me talking to somebody, some idiot who doesn't know football, but just what I'm seeing and my first reactions. But Woody Washington in the secondary has been an absolute dog. I think he's been targeted in 2 games like 3 times with 0 receptions. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing on the defensive side of the ball. Let me hear some of your thoughts, on how they played last week, giving up just 11 points to a pretty high-powered offense.
Yeah, I think the defense is definitely, which, is an exciting thing to say, is I think that they are the backbone of this team, which is a cool thing to say because we haven't been able to say that for a while.
Right.
Again, I
Yeah.
I'm optimistic that that continues. But like you said, SMU the past 5 years has had a top 15 scoring offense, and so I think that they're going to be a really good football team with a lot of talent. And I think that they're going to give a lot of people trouble offensively. And so for us to hold them to 11 points was, I mean, I was happy with it. The defense won us that game. Danny Stutzman is a freaking animal. like you're saying, Woody Washington, just the experience that guy brings to the table. Yeah, our defense has been pretty good so far. Just still, man, I'm just so burnt
Yeah.
from last year on
We got
just
scars
like
on
being
our
we're
heart.
3-0 and we yeah, like being 3-0 and like skull dragging Nebraska and like, yep, this is it. And then, everything went to crap. But
Yeah.
so again, trying my hardest. It's really hard to not just be like, okay, we have a defense, but
When we got cut off, you were talking about giving your thoughts on the defense. I think I heard you mention Justin Harrington and some of that secondary depth. So go ahead and get back into it, my man.
yeah, I was saying that it's starting to maybe get a little shaky with injuries, maybe because Desan McCullough got a little banged up in the first game, and then I don't know if this is where we got cut off or not, but apparently Justin Harrington's knee injury from this past week might be like season-ending injury, and if that's the case, it's not the best news for especially that guy who's fought his stinking butt off
Yeah.
to get his scholarship back and earn that starting spot and to be a captain and stuff like that. So you'd hate to see that, but man, you'd also hate to see where our defense maybe being the backbone of our team and then guys going down with injuries just not going to cut it either. But
Yeah. No, I knew he got hurt. I didn't know it was that serious, but I was uh I was listening to KREF today and heard Teddy Lehman kind of talking about the depth on defense, and one thing he was mentioning was like with how well Peyton Bones looked, at moments, and him getting a lot of meaningful snaps, he could be a guy that steps up to the Cheetah or maybe Reggie Pearson, if Harrington or McCullough, you know, stayed banged up. So the secondary is a place where there's a lot of depth and we can kind of overcome some things. But like at linebacker, I think we're deep as long as Stutzman doesn't go down. You get what I'm saying? Like if Kip Lewis can come in or some of those other guys can come in for a guy like Canick, which you don't want him to go down either. It's a lot different as them coming in for like a leader like Stutzman. So because he has been the one leader on that defense. So hopefully everyone we could stay healthy and keep improving as the year goes on. But I've thought they've looked a lot better than they have in past years. So, but I'll also try to temper my expectations like you've been talking about. But sometimes it's hard, man.
it is extremely hard. But we saw how last year went after a 3-0 start. So
It did.
I just keep reminding myself of that, and I'm like, okay, I can wait a little bit to watch us
Yeah,
battle some of these, tougher conference opponents and see how we look. But
definitely. And this you don't ever want to overlook an opponent, but I think definitely that Cincinnati game coming up in 2 weeks is going to be, our first true test. And I think that will kind of tell us a lot about ourselves once we get into that game, on the road against a tough opponent. So we'll just have to wait and see, man. But let me hear some of your thoughts on the offense from last Saturday.
oh man, I that's where my concerns start to pop up. You know me, I'd rather be. What are you drinking?
This is a smoothie.
Oh my god,
It's got strawberries, bananas,
dude! I'm
blueberries.
not talking about what's in it. I'm talking about you
Oh,
bringing the entire pitcher and then sucking it through a straw like a weirdo.
well, I just don't like the texture out of it when it's not in the straw, you know, and it's just too thick, It's more like a shake than a smoothie, but I've tried adding more milk. It doesn't help. I've tried, maybe less fruit, less of everything, more of
Oh
everything.
gosh,
So this
that
this
just
is
was
what we've got. But your
leave it
body's
to Colin to bring
so good.
something weird. My gosh. Anyways, offense. I don't know. Here are my concerns. I'm actually like I I'm concerned with our staff as a whole in that I feel like we don't value or play talent more so than we value and play seniority. And that kind of worries me a little bit because I feel like number one, the best guy on like the best players should play regardless. And then I also think like when you get into recruiting battles and the Bamas and the Texas and the Miamis and Georgias, like if they're talking to big time recruits, they're like, you can come here and play as a freshman. And we still have like, you know, people that I feel like are more talented than people that are playing. So that kind of makes me nervous. I don't know who that falls on. I don't know if like BV allows Jeff Lebby to um, decide personnel as, but like, and I'll give a couple examples. Like I think Jaden Gibson and Nick Anderson
Yep.
are better overall wide receivers than Jalil Farouk. And I'm not saying Jalil Farouk's not a good receiver, but I think that Nick Anderson and Jaden Gibson give something that they can do what Jalil Farouk can do and a little more. And I think that Gavin Freeman is more shifty and a better receiver than Drake Stoops. Not saying that Drake Stoops shouldn't play, but literally the dude, they call him G Freaky for a
Yeah.
reason. And that dude didn't see the field very much. Jaden Gibson saw like 4 snaps. Nick Anderson saw 6 snaps. I meant the running back room, Tawee Walker. Yeah, the dude probably earned a lot of reps, this season, but he didn't earn RB1 reps because I feel like Barnes and Sawchuk and Hicks and all those other guys I feel like are more talented and bring an element to the game that some of the, like Tawee Walker can't bring. And then you go to the defensive side, and I think Peyton Bowen should be playing. I think that Kip Lewis should be playing. So it just concerns me a little bit because I feel like I don't know. You can see both ends of it. Like I can understand why Drake Stoops would be on the field because the dude has so much experience and stuff like that. But I also think that you have to be able to game plan some of those guys into the game. And the most important one, friggin' Jackson Arnold is
Yeah.
a better quarterback than Dylan Gabriel. And Dylan Gabriel's been fine so far this year against inferior opponents, but Jackson Arnold's a better quarterback. And Jeff Lebby just brings him in for like to run a belldozer formation.
When he's not a
And
bulldozer.
when he's not a belldozer,
He's
it's like
not
he's a
6'5", 240.
5-star Elite 11 MVP, Gatorade Player of the Year, like quarterback, and we're bringing the dude in on 3rd and 2 and 4th and 1s and running power quarterback
Yeah.
runs, and it just, I don't know, it worries me a little bit because we kind of saw it last year with people like Justin Broyles and White and Aguabu and stuff like that, and we use the excuse of we just must not have any depth
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that. And now I'm like, I don't know. Kip Lewis just seems to be a freaking ball magnet and makes plays happen. And
I play off
Jaron
the edge,
Canick's been
stuff in that run.
right, right, and like Jaron Canick just kind of like he's still talented, but he doesn't seem like he still seems like he's learning the position of linebacker because it's his 2nd year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. There's just like I have questions like that. So that's not just offense. That's like something that worries me going forward. I'm like, I want the best player on the field. I don't care whose feeling it hurts because they've been here, 3 or 4 years or something like that. But offensively, Jeff Lebby wears me out because I don't know. I know that we got spoiled with Tebow calling our plays, for 5, 6 years and just like being a top 5 offense and averaging 40 points a game and stuff like that. Like I know that's not just normal, but this dude, oh my gosh, dude, just the way he calls plays
Yeah.
it wears me. It's hard to watch, honestly. Like it's just frustrating.
Well, you want to hear what frustrates me is, I'm sitting up in section 107 just minding my business, trying to enjoy a nice Saturday, okay? And I don't know much about football, all right? Other than I know I love to watch it. And I got Jenny sitting here in my ear. Why don't they throw the ball downfield? Why don't they throw the ball downfield? I said, I don't freaking know, Jenny. I don't know. I don't know the difference between a cover one or a cover two. I just know that I'm also getting tired of these east-west plays and 3rd and 7 inside zone runs. And I'm just like, Jeff Levy, please throw the ball down the field so I don't have to listen to Jenny in my ear griping about you. I'm just kidding, Jenny. I
Yeah.
love you. But that's the thing, man. Is his playbook is it seems very, very vanilla and conservative. And I was listening to this on the radio too, and like, OU fans, you hear them talk a lot about, ball control. Like they want an offense with where that we control the ball, because Levy's whole shtick is this hurry up, like fast paced offense. Well, our time of possession was, better than SMU's for a long time. The game on Saturday, and they were outgaining us, and we hadn't put many points on the board. So it's like, do you really want? Yes, like we want to possess the ball, but I mean that's kind of what a ball control offense looks like, Like, yeah, we don't want these quick 3 and outs, but we have better athletes than SMU has, so let's use them. You get what I'm saying? And like you said, touching on the Jaden Gibson and Nick Anderson thing, is like, yeah, we're not in practice seeing what they're doing in practice, but we saw what they did against, I know, not a very good team, Arkansas State. But you think that would earn the guys a few more snaps, the following week, rather than just trotting the same guys out there running the same plays. And the Jackson Arnold thing, like you said, bring him in there. 85,000 plus people know he's running QB power. Everyone in the stadium knows what they're going to do. And then 3rd and 2, 4th and 1, can't convert. That's just not, if you're going to run him, put a wrinkle and run an RPO or maybe run a read option, not just straight up QB power with, let me add, an offensive line that really hasn't created a whole lot of push, especially like even against a team like SMU. Like I know they have some dogs on the defensive line, some really strong guys, but you can't tell me that that's the type of caliber defensive lineman we're going to be playing this year. And we can't even get, movement on the line of scrimmage against SMU to convert a 4th and 1. So, I mean, I've just got a lot of questions and a lot of gripes about it. And yes, we're
Well, it
spoiled.
just makes me nervous. It makes me nervous because I just keep finding myself making excuses like, well, maybe he is keeping it, super vanilla because he doesn't want game film to get out, or maybe he
Yeah.
is just doing this power quarterback run because he is going to put a wrinkle in it. But I'm like, we very well could have lost that game on Saturday. Like, so that makes zero sense to keep it vanilla the entire game
And we were 6-7
because
last year.
right. And so I'm like, I just find myself making a lot of excuses for the guy, and I feel like I'm just done doing that because there are some head scratching calls. There are just head scratching calls. I don't know. I don't know, dude. He makes well, man, and then obviously all the freaking drama with his father-in-law, and then how he handled it, and then he doubled down, and oh my gosh, I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, you're not doing yourself any favors with
No.
Sooner Nation.
I actually talked to my dad about that, and like obviously you and I have had some conversations about it, and like we both know where we stand on the whole deal. But I talked to my dad, and I was like, he's not really getting much grace calling these crappy games too. Maybe we'd be more willing to, it's whatever, which is not true. Like that's just me being making a joke about it and being shallow about it. But I mean, for real, like the guys I have not been impressed so far, and it makes you wonder how much of Ole Miss was Lane Kiffin's doing. But I mean, we've got the
Well,
talent.
I mean, because he had Art Briles at Baylor, and then he had Josh Heupel at UCF, and then he
Right.
had Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. I'm like, those are all three really good offensive minds, and this is the first time that he's on his own. And so far, I have not been impressed. There's been spurts where I'm like, oh, okay, that was really good. But oh my gosh, man, it makes me very, very, very nervous.
Which I hope he, the rest of the season makes us sit here and eat our words and look dumb. So, because that
I'll
means,
do it.
yeah,
I'll
that means
freaking
we're
eat them.
winning football games and we're putting up numbers. So, make us eat our words, Jeff Levy. So, give me your thoughts. We'll wrap this up real quick because I know you got an early morning tomorrow. But give me some of your thoughts. What you want to see coming into this next week against Tulsa.
Um, I want to see those younger guys playing meaningful snaps and getting those opportunities that they got against Arkansas State. Man, I really do. I want to see the best guy play. I don't care if it is Dylan Gabriel, cool. Then DG needs to play. Or if it is Drake Stoops, cool. But I'm like, throw in Caleb Hicks, throw in Nick Anderson,
And
throw in
Caleb
like
Hicks is a
whoever it
guy we heard
is.
a lot about, in fall camp about how good he looked. Teddy Lehman saying he was the best looking back. And you think, like, even with the youth, you would think that the best looking back would be getting some snaps. But who knows?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's my thing is we heard all off season, and again, it's what makes me freaking nervous is we heard all off season that Caleb Hicks looked legit, that Nick Anderson and Andrell Anthony looked legit, which Andrell Anthony has had a good year so far,
I
but like
agree.
Nick Anderson hasn't gotten on the field as much as he should. I know Josiah Wagner's a little banged up, but that dude apparently is, the best freshman corner we've had on campus in a long time, but it's like it makes you wonder if he's going to even play whenever he's healthy. Peyton Bowen looks like a beast out there when he's on the field. So does Kip Lewis, and they're not getting I don't know. It just makes me say,
Yeah. No,
So
I'm right there
I
with
don't know. I want to see them take care of business. I want them to not look ahead, go out there and roll these guys, and then yeah, on to Cincinnati. But I am. I know I sound like I'm just trying so hard not to like buy into 73-0 and holding SMU to 11. I'm just trying so hard not to do that.
Yeah. No, I'm there with you. I would definitely like to see the defense go out and, keep performing like they have been. I would hate, Kevin Wilson's that coach out there, old OU OC. That's kind of back when I was really, falling in love with OU football and I kind of could understand what was going on whenever I'd go to games and stuff. But you know how I feel about my man Sam Bradford.
Sammy B.
He's the best, man. But I'd love to see our defense go out and keep playing like they have been. No letdowns because Tulsa's not a very good team right now. Kevin Wilson's kind of having to rebuild that program, so that would be very disappointing to see us kind of backslide in that game. But obviously, them keep playing like they are on the offense, improve. I'd like to see offensive line kind of win the line of scrimmage on Saturday. So that would be one thing I'm looking for. And then also, we haven't turned the ball over at all this year. So, say what you will about Dylan Gabriel, he has been clean with the ball. He don't really make many home run plays, but I'd like to see that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'd rather him make a mistake and be more ballsy and push the ball down the field than I'm
Yeah,
not going to throw that because it might get picked off. Like that's
true.
not how I want my
But
quarterback to
also,
operate.
I feel like they're just not calling those types of plays. Like,
I don't know, but like the first week, like Jackson Arnold throwing freaking jump balls to Jaden Gibson
yeah,
and stuff like that. Like it's like you just got to do that at that level where you're
yeah, it's
like
like you
my guys are going to go make
can't always scheme somebody open all the time. You just gotta let your guy go win sometimes. But
right.
so, which I think I will say this as we're kind of wrapping up. We've grabbed a lot, but we still love our Sooners, man. And last week, good teams win tape, but great teams cover. We covered the spread. Well, 2-0 against the spread. Let's go 3-0 against the spread this week. I think I heard it was like 27.5 or something crazy for this week. But for our
Well,
game
hey,
out there.
as long as the Sooners look as good as your flow is looking, I think we're going to be in good shape.
I appreciate that. Well, that's how you know it's been a long time since we filmed one because, well, the last time we filmed one, I didn't have all this. But
Dude, that's a freaking lion's mane right there.
I appreciate that.
Ladies, watch out.
Ah,
This
yeah.
lion's on the prowl.
Any ladies out there that want an average podcaster with great hair, you know where to find me.
Our DMs are open.
I can show you my cool Russell Westbrook poster. So, all right, man. Well, brother, good luck tomorrow. Y'all are the
Appreciate it.
Raiders, right? Randall Raiders.
Randall Raiders, defending state champs, man.
Heck yeah. You got a high expectation to uphold, my friend.
That's right. That's all we do.
All right. Well,
All right, man.
maybe we can get on here and hopefully next pod we film talk about a Sooner win and a Randall Raider golf tournament win. I don't exactly know how that works, but maybe you can cook up some future Sooners.
There you go. That's what the goal is. Oakwood Eagles.
Yep, we're people too, man. But all right, brother. Well, it was a lot of fun, man. You get your rest.
All right, man. We'll see you. Boom soon.